Hello and welcome to Nick's Allotment Diary. Now, I don't normally bother growing Christmas potatoes because the problem I've had in the past is I put them in say July, August time, and then I grow them and then I've tended to get blight or they get frosted too early. So what I've done over the last couple of years is saved a few buckets of potatoes that I've grown from the spring through to the summer that I haven't turned out, and I'm going to use those for potatoes for Christmas. So I've got this bucket here. These were a variety called Carlingford. They were planted in April. I've left them in the bucket, done nothing with them. Weeds have grown on the top, so I've just taken those off. But I'm now going to tip them out and see, what do I get? Do I get any spuds at all? Hopefully I do. And the first thing I can see around the edge is that there are some. They're not massive. It's a decent one, but there are potatoes. So I use the bucket to put them in. I suppose we're not used to potato reveals at this time of the year, but I thought coming up to Christmas it would be worthwhile just seeing what I can harvest from these buckets. Potatoes are not very big. But there are some. There we go. So that's from that bucket. I'm not going to weigh them. I haven't got scales with me today, but I'd say maybe a pound of potatoes there, maybe a little bit more. I've got another bucket or two to reveal, so I'll do those now. The next variety I've got is a variety called Mayan Gold. Again, middle of April planted. You can see a few potatoes on the surface, so definitely are some. Ooh, interesting. These are the Mayan Gold. And looking at that one, that's already starting to sprout. So probably an early potato, I should imagine. Anyway, I'll pick those. See what we find. I'll just take off the sprouts off them. I'm sure they'll be still fine to eat. The Mayan Gold was a variety I picked up from the potato fair in February last year, or February this year. Now that one looks like a round potato, so that one must be one of the other ones from the first bucket, I think, that I missed. Apologies if I'm in the way of the camera. There's the Mayan Gold. Not many of them. Well, a fair few, but not too big. A fair few of them, not too big. I'd say, again, a similar weight to the first bucket, maybe a pound of potatoes. They'll be fine for Christmas dinner. Now, the last variety I'm going to empty out, the labels come off, is Socko Blue Danube. These were all planted about the same time. So it's a member of the Socko family that Socko Mira is in, but it is a purple skinned potato. Yeah, very purple. So I don't know what they're like eating wise. I've never grown these ones before. They're certainly blight resistant, but we didn't have the conditions for blight this year because it was so dry and sunny. So I couldn't tell you whether this was any better than any other variety of potato. These are more difficult to see, so I might miss some of them. But again, not very big. I think it was down to watering or lack of water this year. The fact that potatoes in buckets didn't do very well. The ones in the ground for me this year did much better. I think they obviously managed to get more moisture than the ones in the buckets, so therefore we're able to produce larger crops. And the ones I grew in the ground were the main crop variety, so in a way they'll be in longer and should grow better. I think that might be it. Or a small one. I will go through this compost after. Rotten one, the seed potato basically that's rotted off. And just take out any little potatoes. So I will reuse this compost, you see. And I don't want potatoes growing up in amongst whatever I decide to grow in this compost this year, coming season. So there we go, there's the blue Danube, not very big potatoes, purpley colour. I would say a similar quantity of potatoes to the other two buckets, a pound at the most I'd say. So not high yields this year in buckets, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't be in decent yields in the following seasons. So, talking of potatoes, Allotmental, whose channel I'll leave a link to in the description below this video, has set a overwintering potato challenge to overwinter potatoes and see what happens. So I've selected 3 of the Mayan gold that are starting to sprout. So what I'm going to do is I put compost in the bottom of one of the buckets, and I'm just going to carefully put in 3 tubers, and then I'm going to top this bucket up with compost. Some of the compost I've already used before. I don't want to use any fresh compost for this particular challenge really over winter, and we'll just see how these do. Hopefully they'll survive through the winter and then grow on in the spring to become new potato plants. We'll see what sort of yield we get from them in the summer. Be interesting to see, because these will obviously have a head start on any other potatoes that we grow. I'll just leave them somewhere sheltered in the allotment, and then we can see how they do. So I hope you enjoyed seeing a potato reveal in December. It's an interesting thing to do, to reveal some Christmas potatoes on the run up to Christmas. I hope you have a very happy Christmas and a great gardening new year in 2019. Thanks very much for joining me at Nick's Allotment. I'll see you again next time.